wonder, 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 wonder.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
All right. Welcome back to another stream. All right, so today, doing usual, reacting to some videos. I'm not gonna react to any clips on X today. You know, there's just nothing, interesting. Not a lot of interesting clips on X, or maybe I'm just picky. I don't know, but anyways. Not reacting to some clips on X, but I am reacting to some videos because MBG he dropped like 3 videos, so of course I'm gonna watch that, and also there's other videos to react to just like I said. All right, let's check out the videos, and if you see me looking up, I have the Cowboys and Raiders game on TV, on my TV. Excuse me. I mean, the Cowboys, they should be able to win this game, but I don't know. This could be a trap game for the Cowboys. Probably not. But I would love to see the Raiders win, though, especially at home. I would love to see the Raiders win, but I think it's unlikely. Okay, let's start off with breaking news. Let's start off with the breaking news for today.
When it comes to hiring new head coaches,
so James Franklin is the new head coach for Virginia Tech. All right.
when it comes to hiring new head coaches, you rarely, and I mean rarely, see case and scenarios like this where it is an undeniable win-win for both parties, and nobody's going to argue with that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Monday. Hope all of you having a great start to your week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Man, oh man, I don't know if some of you noticed, but the MBG sweatshop is in full effect. 3 videos one day. We're grinding, man. We're grinding. We got to talk about the big diamond breaking news. It is no longer a developing story. I've been following it closely. Ever since really Friday night, I heard some rumors and reports going on. Didn't make a video. Wanted to see some more developments go on. Well, those developments have happened. They have transpired. The breaking news has been announced that James Franklin, yes, the former head coach of the sorry, sucky, and irrelevant, let me say again, irrelevant Penn State Nittany Lions, has just been hired as the new head coach for the Vodtech, a.k.a. Virginia Tech Hokies. Clap it up. Clap it up to James Franklin. Clap it up to the Hokies. We got a lot to talk about here, a lot to unpack. Don't want to make this a long video. Going to try to keep it short, simple, and sweet, but go over all the main points. Talking points of that, all the major stuff going on. First things first, my immediate reaction to this. It just came out. You should see this video about an hour or two after the breaking news got released. I think this is a great hire. I also don't believe your casual fan understands how great of a hire this is. Let me explain. If you keep up with college football, you should know this, but maybe there's some casuals watching. You don't keep up with the Hokies. I don't blame you because you want to talk about irrelevant. They've been irrelevant. They suck. I'm pulling up their record. Hold on, give me a second in live time here. Over the past Virginia Tech record. This year they're awful. They're 3-7. But last year 6-7. 2023 7-6. 2022
6-7.
3-8. 2021 6-7. 2020 5-6. 8-5. 6-7. You get the point. They haven't won more than 6 games but once in the past, 7, 8, 9 years. Reminder, Power 4 schools have about 2 or 3 cupcakes per season. So really they're winning about 4 to 5 legit games per year. All in all, saying they've been mediocre at best the past 7 years is probably sugarcoating it. They've been awful, and this year it was the worst. Brent Pry, he had to go. It wasn't a good fit. But shout out to him for not burning this thing down into flames. It seems like, and I have an outsider's perspective looking in, it's going to be a seamless transition. Unlike with LSU and Florida, it's just a crap show over there. And same thing with the Auburn Tigers. It should be fairly simple. James Franklin, he'll bring his staff in. He'll bring in some of his recruits. He'll bring some from the transfer portal. I bet there's going to be a bunch. When I say a bunch, probably about 5 to 10 Penn State players transfer to Virginia Tech. That's going to be something we got to pay attention to and be on the lookout for. And here's the thing. Nobody, I mean nobody, has ridiculed James Franklin more than me, myself, and I. You know this. When you saw Penn State and James Franklin lose a game, the first thing you thought of was, oh, I got to see what Matt B. Gray's saying about this, because he's been saying they're irrelevant for years. I've been a Penn State and James Franklin hater, a professional hater at that, and I don't shy away from it. But let's get one thing clear, Timothy and Bobby. The one area I have given James Franklin credit in is when it comes to beating teams he's supposed to beat, outside of this year when he lost to UCLA. To say Franklin is awful at top 10 games might be understated.
Worst record by head coach versus AP top 6 opponents. 2-21. Obviously, that is absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal.
Yet he's beneath that. It's not even the bottom of the barrel. It's under the barrel at this point. But outside of that, he was steadily, and I know it was in the sorry and sucky Big Ten, winning 9 to 10 games per season like it was nothing. And you got to take that into account when you look at the situation. You can't go, oh, well, James Franklin can't win a big-time game. Is this even that good of a hire? Yes, it is, because Virginia Tech hasn't won more than 9 games since 2016. Think about this. If James Franklin still lost to every top 10 opponent Virginia Tech played in the next however long he's going to be there, we'll say 3 to 4 years, that's how long we'll give him. He loses every top 10 game, but he does what he did at Penn State exactly word for word, bar for bar. They're going to build a statue of him. You win 9 to 10 games per year at Vodtech, you're getting a statue built of you. I'm not saying the Vodtech fan base wouldn't eventually get annoyed with losing on big-time games. What I'm saying is winning 8, 9, 10 games per year is a huge step in the right direction compared to what they've been the past 7 to 8 years. When it comes to hiring new head coaches, you rarely, and I mean rarely, see case and scenarios like this where it is an undeniable win-win for both parties, and nobody's going to argue with that. From Virginia Tech's standpoint, you just got what I'm going to label as a good head coach, and your program is pretty much in the dumps right now, so you'll take that. Actually, that's understating it. You'll more than take it. You appreciate it. You're grateful for it. On the other side of it for James Franklin, here's why I love the move for him. Because he is on a big stage at what I'm going to consider not a prominent program, but a decent one with an outstanding fan base, but they don't have the championship level expectations that you had at Penn State. I think he came out good in this.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. And I think, like Matt just said, I think this is great for Franklin for sure, man. Just going to a team that has a huge fan base and also don't have high expectations. So this is good for Franklin.
Deal, because I think he's going to have the resources to compete for ACC championships and potentially sneak into the playoff. But if he doesn't, the fan base isn't going to be too upset, at least right away. At Penn State, it's much different. The fan base, I'm going to consider them unreasonable. They just have their expectations set way too high. And Franklin's got a point to prove to everybody. Nobody's got a fire burning inside them bigger than James Franklin currently. Because if you're Franklin, here's the dilemma you face in the job search. You didn't want to go to a program where they didn't have a lot of pressure to succeed, because then you lose your edge, and I've always believed this. Pressure, it's a privilege because that means people expect something out of you. Same thing here. It's just the right amount of pressure at Virginia Tech. Those fans, they're going to hold them accountable, and I think Franklin likes that. And the more I think about it, the more this seems like deja vu. I know it's different circumstances, but when you're talking about the football team, the football program itself, not any of the scandals, when he inherited Penn State, it was in a similar situation. It wasn't good. It's the same thing with Virginia Tech currently. And let this be known right now, they have the money to compete in the NIL department. They are dedicated to that football program. Early prediction and outlook on this, I think he'll see success right away. Believe it or not, James Franklin is a pretty dang good recruiter. And it's not going to take much to start competing in the ACC as we've seen this year. They are garbage. I'm talking about hot garbage. They are doo-doo cheeks. If James Franklin was going to like LSU, Florida, or Auburn, we'd be having a completely different conversation, because the dilemma that those schools face is you got to play your Alabamas and Georgias and Texases and Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That's also true because, we all know James Franklin's record against the top 6, or just pretty much a big team, or I said a big team, but a ranked team. A great team. That's what I should say. A great team. His record is insanely negative against top teams. So yeah, he's definitely better off with Virginia Tech. Definitely. If he coached a team like Florida, LSU, yeah, like teams like that, huge expectations, and he would have to play teams like Alabama, Georgia, Texas, and all those schools or all those teams. That would be rough for Franklin, not to be honest.
Oklahomas and Tennessees of the world almost every other weekend. But when you're going to Vol Tech, have you seen the ACC? They suck, man. They are awful, and it's going to be way easier to recruit. If you're recruiting in the SEC, you got to try to win these kids over. Like I talked about Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on. But if you're in the ACC, there's really nobody outside of Mario Cristobal and Dabo the Dinosaur. But Dabo the Dinosaur, he still hasn't adapted to modern times.
No, I mean, well, okay, I gotta watch what I say because my Gamecocks they suck too. But you may not, excuse me, you may not worry about Clemson for a little while, possibly. But we'll see. Dabo and Clemson, they could bounce back next year. They can have a solid season next season. But we'll see.
I hate to say this, I really do, but I'm so excited for next year already. I think that's the first time I've ever stated that on the channel. This year's not even over, and I'm already looking forward to next year. But I want to see how he's going to do. Let's take a look at this comment. Good hire for Tech. Odd to me that Franklin went on game day less than a week after getting let go, saying he'd win a natty elsewhere. This is the place? Can get his... I think he meant to say, can he get his 8 to 10 wins / year? What is this? This ain't even English, but you get the point. He's trying to say, can he win 8 to 10 games per year in the ACC? Here's my rebuttal to that, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible to every other ACC team. I don't have to think about it longer than 1 second. Can he win 8 games per year in the sorry and sucky beyond sorry and sucky trash? Let's call it for what it is, trash. ACC? Yeah.
Yeah, of course he can.
He can do that. I'd say that is the bare minimum. Not to have unrealistic expectations, but if I were a Virginia Tech fan, yeah, you got to win 8 games per year. Minimum. Especially with the way the conference has been looking the past couple of years. And I think they'll give them the benefit of the doubt in year 1, but by year 2, they're going to be ready to go. It's put up or shut up. Hey, we got to start competing for ACC championships, competing for a playoff spot, and I don't blame them. Many more things I could say. We'll end it off here. Congratulations, James Franklin. This is a huge success. Great hire, great fit. I'm curious. I know your thoughts on this down below. But Ty Simpson has the...
All right, so sorry about that. I had to charge something. But
when it
back to what I was saying, like, dude, this is a great hire for Virginia Tech. It may not be a success right away next season. You may have to give him some time, but I think this is a great hire for Virginia Tech. I think he's going to get at least 8 wins per season. Because the ACC, it's not a very, let's be honest, it's not a very good conference. It's not. And the only teams that Franklin and Tech have to worry about is Miami, Clemson. Well, yeah, we'll put Clemson in the conversation for now, but we'll see how Clemson looks next season. Clemson has obviously had a bad year, but we'll see what happens in the future. We'll see how Clemson looks in the future. But I already said Miami. Already said Clemson. Possibly Georgia Tech. May have to worry about them. But other than that, they should be able to get at least, Franklin should be able to get at least like 8 wins per season. Maybe not next year, but the year after. You know, you just gonna have to give him some time. But yeah, this is a great hire. Not a lot of high expectations from Virginia Tech. And if he went to the SEC, then there would be high expectations. And he has a pretty negative record against top teams. And he would have to play them like pretty much every other week in the SEC. And the ACC is obviously easier. And I do think that James Franklin will succeed at Virginia Tech. I just don't see why not. So shout out to Virginia Tech. All right. Oh, we got a longer video, right? Well, actually, I'll watch the Gunnar Stockton video first. We need to talk about Gunnar Stockton. Let's check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great start to your week. Hope all of you having a great Monday. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, I am sick and tired. Let me say it again. I am sick and tired of the Gunnar Stockton disrespect. That is going to be the only topic we're going to be talking about in today's video. We got a plethora of videos and topics we got to get to. But for now, at least, we got to talk about this. I'm tired of it. Now, I know what you're sitting there saying. Matt, would you just calm down for a second and sound like a reasonable person and explain yourself? What are you tired about? And that's a great question, my friend. I'd love to answer it. I've been talking about this the past couple weeks or so. So if you've been watching the channel, been engaged with it, you would know this is not the first time I've stated this. I figured it'd only be a matter of time until the rest of the college football world and media would start seeing it the way I'm seeing it, but apparently not. And I'm not going to sit up here and act oblivious to reality. I know why he's not getting the respect he deserves. It's because he lost to Alabama. After he lost to Alabama and his team lost to Bama, everybody wrote him off. And when I say wrote him off, I'm talking about, they're like, yeah, we're not going to consider this guy for the Heisman Trophy. He can't even beat Alabama. And everybody knows that's your signature win. However, if you look at him, even in the Bama game, heck, there was one throw he threw up the seam that if his wide receiver catches it, it's a walk-in touchdown. And Georgia probably wins that game, but I don't want to play the what-if game and whatnot. But during the Bama game, he played right at, I'd say, about as good. And if you want to give the nod to Ty Simpson, that's fine. But he was right up there with Ty Simpson. He didn't play bad by any stretch of imagination. But after the Alabama and Georgia game, no. Everybody's been ranting and raving about Ty Simpson, but you want me to enlighten you on something, partner? Ty Simpson has not one, not two, not three, not even four, but 5 straight games with 5 straight fumbles. Let me say it again. 5 fumbles in 5 straight games that have led to points for the opposing team, most recently against Oklahoma. Do Heisman contending quarterbacks have disastrous turnovers every single game? No. They may have it once a game, like Fernando Mendoza. Remember against Oregon, threw the pick 6, came back, won by double digits. That's fine, having maybe 2 or 3 seasons. But Ty Simpson, no. He's out of the Heisman race. He's gone. He may get invited to New York, but he has 0 shot of winning it. He's not playing like a Heisman caliber quarterback. Alabama's defense is the reason they've been winning all these games, but that's a different conversation for a different day. Mr. Gunnar Stockton, on the other hand, is the reason Georgia's 9-1. Let's get that clear. He is the reason they have won all these games. It hasn't been the defense. The defense has been okay, but not like we've gotten accustomed to knowing a Georgia defense for. No. It's been all Gunnar Stockton. He's been playing out of his mind. But yet, a guy who is the starting quarterback for one of the best offensive teams in the nation is not getting any Heisman love whatsoever. A little fishy if you could ask me. I don't even know if there's a legit explanation for it. He's top in QBR. I'll pull it up in just a second off the top of my head. I think he has roughly 20 touchdown passes. He has a couple interceptions, and some people may point to, well, Matt, against Texas, he had that interception. Okay, that's fine. If you want to bring up stats and numbers, I'm all for it. But you also know against Texas, he only had 5 incompletions in 29 attempts and 5 touchdowns. You'll take that's pretty dang good.
5 touchdowns.
Would you not agree? You'll take that? 5 touchdowns. So for every incompletion he had a touchdown to make up for it. That's what Heisman quarterbacks do. Let's pull up his stats to back up my claims and whatnot. He has 2,200 passing touchdowns on the year.
2,200 passing yards. Over 2,200 passing yards. 19 touchdown passes and only 3 interceptions with a QBR of 90.1. And he should be a Heisman, obviously a Heisman candidate. Should be. Just so underrated.
19 tutties, 3 INTs, and he's top 3 in the nation QBR. Oh my gosh. A QBR over 90 is elite. Elite. And that's just through the air. I'm here to tell you right now, he has underrated speed and athleticism. He has been killing teams scrambling. Georgia's even been calling some design quarterback runs for him, and he's been exploiting defenses. Heck, he had a couple against Alabama that was really nice. He also had a rushing touchdown against Auburn, Ole Miss, and Texas. Not only has this Georgia football team been reeling on all cylinders, they're one of, if not the hottest team in the nation the past 5 or 6 weeks. Gunnar Stockton has been doing that as well, and it goes hand in hand. I firmly believe this at any level, whether it's youth football, middle school, JV, high school, collegiate, NFL, you're only going to go as far as your quarterback can take you. And you're seeing that with the Georgia Bulldogs. So calm, cool, and collected, so composed, and you don't see that out of Georgia quarterbacks. They've been decent over Kirby Smart's career, but nothing special. The best quarterback without a shadow of doubt in my mind was Stetson DoorDash Bennett. Shout out to him. I know everybody gave Bennett a hard time. Granted, he deserved it. He struggled a bunch. But those past couple of years when he won those championships, he was one of the best players in the nation. And he should have been getting Heisman love. But he didn't. And I think it's the same reason Gunnar Stockton isn't getting any love. There's this weird stigma around Georgia quarterbacks where, remember when everybody called Greg McElroy at Alabama and A.J. McCarron game managers? Well, I think the college football media doesn't view Georgia quarterbacks that way. It's more so they just look at them as, yeah, well, you're just doing your part. You're playing your role. Everybody knows Georgia. They're a defensive team, so we can't put too much respect on the quarterback, if that makes sense. And with Stetson DoorDash Bennett, there was a good argument for that. Or not a good argument, a great argument. They were winning the games because of their defense for the most part. And he made some big-time throws when he needed to. Shout out to him yet again, with all due respect. But this year, with Gunnar Stockton, completely different story. Georgia is winning games because of him. Let me get that clear. Because of him, not the defense. I'm not going to give you my whole Heisman list and whatnot, but there's 3 guys that stand out to me. Number 1, Julian Sayin. Oh, my gosh.
Yep, 100%.
I know a lot of people haven't been tuning into his games because Ohio State's been playing a bunch of cupcakes and blowing everybody out of the water. But he throws the prettiest ball you're ever going to see. Marvelous. I could go on and on about him. Fernando Mendoza, that one's clear-cut evidence. You know, he's on one of the best teams in the nation. And he's one of the best quarterbacks. And Gunnar Stockton. Everybody talks about Ty Simpson. No. Missing way too many throws, too many turnovers. He's got to go. He also had a pick 6 against Texas, so it's donezo's for him. If you got to ask me who's been better this year, not just the past 5 or 6 weeks, the entire year from start to finish, Gunnar Stockton, Ty Simpson, it's Gunnar Stockton. And it's close, man. It's really close. If I were to start a college football dynasty or start a college football team, and I got to pick, I had the number 1 pick in the college football draft, who would I go with? Stockton, Julian Sayin, or Fernando Mendoza? I'd be up at night for a month thinking about it. I don't know, and that's how close it is for me. But here's what I will tell you, and I don't have to think about this longer than 15 seconds. Nobody's been playing better than Gunnar Stockton at the quarterback position the entire season. You can say Julian Sayin and Mendoza have been playing just as good, but I don't think you can say better. It's 1A, 1B, and 1C with those 3 guys. And when you look at the
and also, Gunnar Stockton, he's been playing better competition. He's doing that against... He's playing well against Ole Miss and Texas. Okay, Julian saying he played Texas, but still, Gunnar Stockton played better competition.
2 biggest games he recently played in against Ole Miss, the Lane Train, and the
Texas. And also Mendoza, he played against Oregon, and that's pretty much it.
Longhorns. Not only did he only have 5 incompletions against Texas, he only had 5 incompletions against Ole Miss and threw for 300 yards and had 4 touchdowns in that one. That's through the air, technically adding the rushing touchdown. 5 tutties in that one as well. So it's a carbon copy paste compared to the Texas game. 5 touchdowns in both of them. Some of you may never do it, but I'm here to tell you, on your Monday morning, well, you'll be seeing this in the afternoon, it is time to jump on the Gunnar Stockton hype train. He's the real deal. This isn't some game manager. This isn't some guy that's just going to score a couple of touchdowns here and there, rely on the defense. No, he's going to go out there and he is going to take the game from you. He is going to beat you himself. If you had any doubts about him, they should have been erased when he went into Neyland Stadium and put up a 40-burger on Tennessee. I know Tennessee don't have that great of a defense, but that comeback was amazing. One of the best comebacks I've ever seen. Did you see that throw? That was one of the best throws you're ever going to see, too, in the back right corner of the end zone. It was perfect. If I'm a Georgia fan, I'm feeling really good. In years past, what has your kryptonite been? Timmy, a.k.a. Carson Beck. Well, now you got a top-tier quarterback on your team. And Beck, he was good, but just made too many disastrous mistakes, as we've seen in Miami. Gunnar Stockton's like that, man. He's like that. I had to talk about this. Many more things I could say when off here. I'm curious. I'm new.
Yeah, Gunnar Stockton, he's definitely underrated. I do think Gunnar Stockton, he is at least a top 5 quarterback in the nation. Like, he has 200, at least 222 passing yards, 19 touchdown passes, and only 3 interceptions. Obviously, he can take care of the ball, and he's athletic, and he and he's played better competition than Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza. And I'm not saying that Gunnar Stockton should win the Heisman. I'm not so sure right now, but since it's so close, but Gunnar Stockton should be in the Heisman conversation. Georgia's been winning games because of him. Because of Gunnar. And yeah. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to remove that. I didn't mean to remove that. Yeah, we're going to watch that video next.
Okay, so a little bit ago, I made a video.
Not this one.
Ty Simpson has the awareness.
We'll just watch that one. I watched that one yesterday. Okay. Alabama got what they deserved. Let's check it out.
Awareness of an armadillo. It's bad, man. Zero awareness whatsoever. Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hope all of you having a great Monday. Hope all of you having a great start to your week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, we gotta talk about Alabama, the Crimson Tide. Nice little golf clap, sarcastic clap at that. I made a video last week. I'm sure some of you may have, may not have seen it. I don't want to say I predicted this because I did take Alabama to win the game, but I'm pretty sure the title of that video was, and the whole focal point of that video was, Alabama has been and is playing with fire. Was that the title of it? Let me pull it up just to be safe. Hold on. Doing a live time. Hold on. Yep, got it right here. Alabama's playing with fire. Man, what do you know? Thumbnail of that video is Jam Miller, and we talked about the things that quite literally transpired in the Oklahoma football game. Ty Simpson, as stated in that video, has fumbled in 4 straight games in the second half. And well, what do you know? He did it again against Oklahoma. And what did we say in that video? I hate to repeat myself, but if you do that against a really good team, they're going to make you pay for it. And clap it up to Oklahoma. It's a double-edged sword because you can sit up here and say, and I've done that, well, they beat themselves against Oklahoma, which is true. But 2 things can be true. OU forced those turnovers. It doesn't matter how you dissect or chop it up, a fan base is going to feel disrespected because if you're an Oklahoma fan and you hear Bama fans say, oh, well, no, Oklahoma didn't win the game, Alabama lost it. You're like, well, dang, that's discrediting us. But at the same time, if you're an Oklahoma fan and you were to say, well, no, we forced those mistakes, Bama fans, their rebuttal is going to be, no, buddy. No, we beat ourselves. You didn't beat us. But I digress. Getting back on track here. What do we talk about in that video? Alabama has been getting away with it all year long. They got away with it against Vanderbilt. They got away with it against Missouri, South Kakalaki, most recently LSU. But you didn't get away with it against Oklahoma. And guess what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. When I was a young buckaroony, I was growing up, I loved fires. And I always used to build them with my grandfather and whatnot. And I was real young. I was probably about I'd say 7, 8, 9 years old, around that area. And my grandfather told me I was just poking the fire, adding stuff to it, just doing stuff that didn't need to be done. And my grandfather told me, he said, Matthew, you keep messing around with that fire, son, you're eventually going to
get burnt.
And like every 7 and 8 year old out there, thought I knew everything in the world. I was like, yeah, whatever, granddaddy, I'm fine. I'm not going to get burned. I know what I'm doing. It wasn't that day. It wasn't that week. It wasn't that month. It was about 5 to 6 months later, I've eventually got burnt. And you want to know how bad that burn was? I'm talking about it till this day, nearly 20 years later. Same thing happened in Alabama. You play with fire, like my grandfather told me. He was a wise man. You're eventually going to get burnt. And Alabama got burnt. But more importantly, Alabama got what they deserved. They reaped what they sowed the entire season. Alabama deserved to lose this game. You can't play that bad and expect to win. It's a miracle you're even in the game in the first place. Outside of Ty Simpson's fumble, and let me do this. Recording this in the morning, you'll see it in the afternoon. Clap it up. Offensive line was fabulous in pass protection. They couldn't have done any better job. And throw in there, Oklahoma, they've been getting to quarterbacks all year long, wreaking havoc. Did you see what they did against Bryce Underwood in Michigan? But our line, they held up. They gave Ty Simpson all the time in the world. And heck, even on that final drive, was it Isaiah Horton? He had down the field. He sat in the pocket for 6 to 7, 8 seconds, and he underthrew him by 5 yards. That would have put us close to field goal range. We had all the time in the world. Ty Simpson missed more throws than I could count in the game. I went back and watched the tape. He missed 10 or 11 gimmies. We're talking about gimmies. Shout out to the O-line. I wanted to pay my respects there. And also, I've already done it, but shout out to our defense for keeping us in the game. But it was nothing more, nothing less than another weekend in the same old Alabama. That's all it was. Don't act shocked by this performance. We haven't looked good. Or really, and let me go back on that. As a team, offensively, defensively combined, we haven't looked great since the Georgia and Wisconsin game. We've been stagnant. You could say we've gotten worse. Maybe that's doing us a disservice. But we haven't gotten better. That's for certain. It's been downhill since the Georgia game. Not a big downhill slope, but a slight one, if that makes sense. And it is extremely frustrating as an Alabama fan because you see teams like, Georgia, who has gotten better and better and better every single week since the Bama game. And then there's Bama just not doing anything, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I think that's the most disappointing part about all of it because we got Kalen DeBoer. This isn't Nick Saban. Nick Saban was a defensive-minded head coach. So if the offense was struggling to put up points, it's like, whatever. We're a defensive football team. We got Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb. We are known, or supposed to be known, as an offensive football team. And our defense, it's the same thing with Auburn. Supposed to be known as an offense.
And, back to Gunnar Stockton, but, ever since Georgia lost to Alabama, and the only reason, this is pretty much the only reason why, actually there's two reasons why Gunnar Stockton's not isn't in the Heisman conversation right now, according to the media, is because one, he lost to Alabama. Him and Georgia, they lost to Alabama, and two, he's a Georgia quarterback, and Georgia they're known for their defense. Like Matt said, they are known for their defense, but their defense hasn't been. Well, they did play great against Texas, but in the other games they haven't been that great this year. But the defense is not the reason. It's not the main reason why Georgia's been winning a lot of football games against good teams. It's because of Gunnar Stockton. That's why.
Offensive football team, and our defense is the same thing with Auburn.
And at the moment, I said for weeks that Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in the nation, but recently how Ty Simpson's been playing. He's been fumbling the ball like multiple times. Like he's fumbled the ball like pretty much every game. Every game. It seems like he's been fumbling the ball every game. And I think it was 5 games in a row. Just been fumbling the football. And just overthrowing receivers. So yeah, Gunnar Stockton has been playing better at the moment.
Our defense is the one saving the day for us, which I don't mind winning ugly football games, but it's just kind of, disappointing when we got Kalen DeBoer. I got to go back to that. We're supposed to be putting on points. We're supposed to have this Heisman contending quarterback, Ty Simpson. Yeah, you're not winning the Heisman Trophy, buddy. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's over with. You can't play that bad against Oklahoma. And I say that bad. I'm comparing him to a Heisman contending quarterback. Compared to other quarterbacks, no, he's still one of the best in the nation. But when you're talking about the Heisman, no, you can't do that. Especially with the 5 straight fumbles. It's just been something you can't overlook. You can get away with having a disastrous interception or fumble maybe 2 or 3 times a year, but doing it consistently, it's been consistent. That's the worst part about it. I'm not shocked to see Ty Simpson hold onto the ball for 10 seconds in the pocket and get sacked. And by the way, how come he can never hold on to the ball? I know some of these are blindside hit and whatnot, but it's like every single one. We never recover them or nothing. Shaking my head. I've been quick to praise Ty Simpson, rightfully so, but I also think it's time to criticize him and critique him. He was not very good against Oklahoma. Moving on from that, I'm sure we'll touch more on that in just a second. The run game actually wasn't too bad, but still hasn't been great. I'll take what I saw Saturday. I think we wound up with 80, 85 rushing yards. We did good enough running the football. I'll leave it at that. And hey, we put up 400 total yards of offense. You can't have 3 turnovers. You can't have a pick 6. You also can't give up a punt return on a 3 and out to your own, 20, 15-yard line. Everything we did, it points back to this. Yeah, we had a shot to win at the end. But when you look at all the bad things we did, it's mind-blowing we were even in the football game. And I talk about this all the time, and it is kind of a cliche thing to say, but it is true. In every single sporting event, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, whatever, the team that wins isn't the team that makes the most insane, legendary, and great plays, like the Ryan Williams twirl 3000 against Georgia last year. No. It's the team that makes the less mistakes, or the team that makes less mistakes. My apologies, better way of saying it. Did Oklahoma do anything mind-blowing in the game, like make some unreal Sports Center top 10 plays? No, not really. The interception was cool and whatnot. It was more so of they just didn't make mistakes, and that's why they won the game. And you only have 200 yards of total offense. That is why you win the game, because you didn't make a whoopsie-daisy. Gotta divert back to this. If you're an Oklahoma fan watching this video, it's much respect to y'all, but this is about Alabama. You're a really good football team. You made us pay for the mistakes, and that's what really good football teams do. Shout out to y'all. Let me address this before I forget. Ryan Williams. I know he has all the talent.
Yeah, bro fumbled the football. I seen this. I know exactly what Matt's talking about. He fumbled the football in this play.
In the world, but that's all it is: talent and potential. Hey, he didn't drop a pass in this game. Let's clap it up. But oh wait, just like the man, the myth, Lee Corso says, not so fast. My friend. He fumbled a punt return, which resulted in 7 points. You could say, oh well, if that play doesn't happen, Alabama wins the game. Probably. And my whole gripe with that play was, this isn't high school football, man. You're not the man anymore. And when I say the man, I'm not talking about you're not head and shoulders above and beyond your competition. Why did he fumble that ball? Because there was 8 Oklahoma defenders standing next to him, and he's hippity-hopping back and forth, moving sideways, trying to do this twirly 3000 spin move, trying to juke this guy. Buddy, when you are playing the Oklahomas of the world, and you're in the NFL, if you get to the NFL, it's a different ballgame. This isn't high school football where you're playing future DoorDash drivers and insurance salesmen. You're playing the best of the best, the cream of the crop. You got to get north and south and take what the defense gives you. Have you ever noticed in the NFL, if y'all watch NFL, when a wide receiver knows, or a punt returner knows, there's about 3 or 4 guys ahead of him, he'll just walk out of bounds sometimes. And you're sitting there going, well, why did he just give himself up? It's because he knows. The only good, there's not going to be a good thing now that I think about it. It's only bad things that can happen if you're dancing around with the football. And if you walk out of bounds, at least you're not going to take a hit. You're not going to fumble. And it's fine. You're just not going to get by these guys. One day he'll realize if he does get to the league, or maybe he'll realize it while he's at Alabama. You got 8 guys in front of you. You just got to fall down or run out of bounds or something. You can't try to hit a home run on every single play. That is Ryan Williams' downfall. And he's still not catching the ball with his hands. I don't know if some of you have noticed that, but I'm not going to get into that too much. Am I being harsh on these guys? Absolutely. It's because I care. It's because I'm passionate. But here's the cold, harsh reality and truth about Ryan Williams.
Because that's Alabama, man. That's why he's being a little harsh. That's Alabama. Like the fans have high standards. Alabama is the best college football program ever. It's the best. And you gotta have high standards if you're an Alabama fan.
Been more of a negative than a positive this year. He has. You can't change my mind. And I was beyond shocked to see Kalen DeBoer trot him back out there on punt return and special teams after that mistake. I thought that was bad coaching. I mean, there's no way I would have sent him back out there. No way. And it goes back to this. Winning these games isn't about who can make the more spectacular plays. That's what Ryan Williams does. Who can avoid the humongous mistakes? That's what Ryan Williams also cannot do. He always has a mistake, and big ones at that. Dropping a first down pass on 3rd and 7 is a turnover. Y'all know that, right? It doesn't go in the book in a turnover, but it is a turnover. Ryan Williams has been bad for Alabama. He has. And the problem is everybody's telling these young guys how good and special they are. They need somebody like me in there telling them how bad they've been. Maybe it'll humble them and get back down to reality, and you can work on the basics a little bit. I haven't really talked about them too much because I said it weeks ago. I guess I'll repeat myself again. Jim Miller has the vision of Trent Richardson. He's washed up. I hate it for him, dude. I love Jim Miller more than anybody else. He has done so much for this program. It's the same thing with Jalen Milroe. I love Jalen Milroe. He just couldn't pass the football. An ace is an ace, a spade is a spade. We got to get Jalen Miller off the field. Oh, my goodness. It's bad, man. You got to take off your Alabama glasses and look at it from an unbiased perspective. It is bad. Bad. Really, really, really bad. Daniel Hill, he's been a bright spot. Jalen Miller, no. He's dang near. Gosh, I hate to say this about him. Y'all don't understand how much I hate to say it. He's dang near unplayable. He is. I hate it. You think I like saying that about him as much as he's done for the program? But it is what it is. It is what it is. But I get it. It's the same reason why Kalen DeBoer wouldn't bench Milroe last year. You bench a guy like Jam Miller, probably going to affect the teammate chemistry a little bit, and the team may turn on you. So you kind of can't do that, really. And you got to throw him in there and continue to play him. But at a certain point in time, you got to grow some kahunas as the head coach and say, you know what, my job is to put the best players on the field. And Jim Miller, he ain't even RB2. He's like RB3 or 4, in my humble opinion. I feel like we got to give Kevin Riley some more action. Sounds like I'm nitpicking. I'm just breaking down the game. So you take everything into account. Jam Miller stinks now. Can't run the ball. We had less than 100 rushing yards. Ty Simpson missed more wide open receivers in that game than I've seen him miss the entire season. He had the pick 6. He had the fumble. Golly, Ty Simpson played really bad in that game when you think about it. Ryan Williams, fumble, resulted in 7 points. Oh my gosh. How could I forget? Connor Talty, don't worry.
Gotta talk about this kicker, man. He's been missing field goals all season. What's his name? Connor Talty, something like that. Dude, Alabama, they gotta get a new kicker, dude. He's just been bad. I hate criticizing players, but dude, he's just been bad, dude.
I'll get to him. The missed field goal, where I guess you could theoretically say if you make that, you win the game, but I don't think you can play that what-if card too much because it changes how everybody operates after you make the field goal. Take that into account. Yeah. It's a bad look for Alabama. As far as it goes for Connor Talty, I don't even mind saying this. I don't hate saying this because he's not a legacy player like Jam Miller. You're trash, dude. You are garbage. One of the worst kickers I've ever seen in Alabama history. Outside of Cade Foster, he probably got to be number 1. The way he acted, screaming at the snapper, are you kidding me? Yeah, the snap was a little high. I'm not blind. I saw it. But here's the dilemma with that. You don't even have an argument.
Yeah, it's on him, man. It's his fault. You missed that field goal, dude.
because the snapper fielded it perfectly. He even spun the laces. Guys, normally, with a bad snap, you don't spin the laces, you don't have time to, and it throws off the kicker. The holder even spun the laces. He spun the laces, fellas. It was a perfect hold. And you shanked, you duck hooked it. And that ain't the first time he's done that. He did that against Georgia. He missed that one by 100 yards. You're trash. And you look like the ultimate bum and loser when you're screaming at the snapper. Take accountability. Say, hey, my bad, guys. I know it wasn't a great snap, but you don't even say that, but in your head you go, you know what? I know it wasn't a great snap, but I got to make those. I got to be a little bit better. See, that's the difference from your Connor Talties in the world, trash, and your Will Reicherts. I've never seen Reichert blame anyone but himself. Winners always take accountability. No excuses. It's always their fault. Have you noticed in this life, losers, they always point the finger. They try to blame somebody else. I wonder why it's not a Kawinky doing. Because that's what losers do. Zero accountability. That was an awful look, and the more I talk about this game, the more I continue to scratch my head and go, how in the world were we even in it? And it's because we are talented. We do have potential. But outside the Oklahoma game, guys, we have been playing with fire this entire season. We were due to get burnt. Outside of Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton, I love them guys. Offense has been doo-doo cheeks this year. And Daniel Hill. I'll throw him in that good category too.
Yeah, you got to mention Cuevas. Josh Cuevas, he's been good.
Offense, doo-doo cheeks. And I'm hesitant to throw Ty Simpson in that category because he hasn't been consistent. He hasn't. Those fumbles, they are game changers. We saw it in the Florida State game. Nothing has changed. He is one of the most accurate passers. He can read the defense, process it like nobody else. He's going to be a first-round pick. But his bad trait that he has, and it hasn't gotten much better, is he holds on to
ball security.
Ball way too long. And what's sad about it is Ryan Grubb, they were talking about it. The commentators told him before the game, you got to throw the ball. You got to throw the ball quick. They're coming. You got to throw it quick. And on that sack, he held on to it way too long, and that's what happens. And I get it. It's easy for me and the man cave eating cheese buff to say, throw the ball. Much easier said than done when you're out there. But good gosh almighty, you got to get rid of it, son. You know they're coming. They blitzed dang near half of the game. And I'm done blaming the O-line. There were some times this season, I think it was 2 times on those fumbles, where the running back got crushed in the pass protection, and Formby, one of the worst offensive linemen in the nation, just got beat off the ball. But as the quarterback, you got to be aware. Ty Simpson has the awareness of an armadillo. It's bad, man. Zero awareness whatsoever. With all that bad stuff being said, I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is Alabama controls their own destiny. One game. You got to win one more game, and you make the 12-team playoff. The bad news is you got to do it at night. Yep, it's been confirmed.
At night. My goodness. Alabama has to play Auburn at Jordan-Hare at night. Ooh.
At Jordan-Hare Stadium. Don't even get me started on that. I'm already nervous, and the game's 2 weeks away. We all know, and I've stated it 4 billion times on the channel, there's witchcraft in that stadium. It was built on a cemetery. It's going to be the Super Bowl for Auburn. They have nothing to play for. Their goal every year is to beat Alabama. Alabama's goal every year is to play for championships. It's just, there's levels to it. I mean, you see this comment right here. They can go 0-11 as long.
He says, I don't care if we lose every game. I just want to beat Bama.
As they beat Alabama, they're going to be happy. Of course, they want to rain on Alabama's parade. I'm not going to make this a preview or prediction video. But if Alabama does what, they don't even got to play great, just can limit the turnovers. Ty Simpson, if you could not fumble the ball, that'd be great. If Ryan Williams could just make routine catches, have no drops. I know the defense is going to do their part. Alabama beats Auburn easily. But that's why we play the game. Because if Alabama would have did all that stuff I just listed off, they would have beat Oklahoma easily. They would have won by 14, 17, 20 points. We'll see, man. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts down below. But they're on.
Yeah, man.
Roasting. An art.
Alabama, they gotta, Oh, hold on. I almost got tangled up with the wires and stuff below my table. But anyways, Alabama, dude, they have to. Wait, hold on. Is my mic working? Okay, I'm good. Just checking. But back to what I was saying, like Alabama, they have to. Dude, that offense has got to be better. Like Ty Simpson, dude, Ty Simpson, like his ball security has not been that good. He's been fumbling the ball like 5 games in a row now. 5 games in a row. Or multiple games. He's been fumbling the ball multiple games. Ryan Williams dropping passes, and he fumbled the football against Oklahoma. Jam Miller, he just hasn't been good. And Jeremy Bernard's been good. Josh Cuevas has been good. I'll say that. And Daniel Hill's been decent. But their kicker, what's his name again? Connor Talty. He's just been so bad. He's been terrible. Like, he's just been missing field goals. And, yeah, he's been missing multiple field goals this year. And when he missed that field goal in the Oklahoma game, he blamed the long snapper. He blamed the long snapper. Like, dude, just take accountability, man. You missed. It's on you, man. He has to take accountability. Man, that Alabama team, they need to fix that offense, man. They need to improve. They got to play Auburn the week after next. They can't do that stuff at Auburn at night in Jordan-Hare Stadium. They can't do that. And I know Auburn is not a good team, but they will always turn up against Alabama. But Auburn is Alabama's Super Bowl. I mean, excuse me. I mixed things up. Alabama is Auburn's Super Bowl. Like, they could lose. Like, Auburn fans, they don't care about anything but beating Alabama. Beating Alabama is a successful season to them. Yeah, Alabama, they got to get it together, man. They have to. Before the kicker or Ryan Williams ended up costing them the game and costing them a spot in the playoffs. They got to get it together. Okay. All right, one more video, then I may start gaming.
Somebody said our problem.
All right, the streamer award situation is sad.
People black from getting nominated. No, turns out their audience doesn't show up. So tired. I just want to play Dispatch so bad, and I haven't had any time because I'm working on this award show.
Wait, whoa,
I'm just so tired.
Emotional? Whoa. Okay.
It is that time of the year, the Streamer Awards, the one award show where being chronically online actually allows you to be good at something and claim an award for yourself. But obviously this is a drama video, so not everything is going as well as it seems. With the Streamer Awards, it seems like it's the same complaints every single year. UG Cinderella, the one that's hosting it, is getting a lot of backlash for apparently hosting a Friends Award, not showing love to audiences that should have been shown to, and just a lot of overall mismanagement with her award show that a lot of people are upset with, to the point where we we earlier this year had people claim that they were going to put on their own awards show. I want to dive into everything that's going on and all the dumb complaints I've been seeing recently. But in order to do that, we had to start from the very beginning with what even is this awards show and why are people so upset about it?
My goal at the end of the day is to highlight as many people that deserve to be highlighted as possible. I mean, we're going to keep fan voted nominations because I think it's very important to have fans involved. I want fans a part of it.
Then people would accuse you of favoritism. There's no winning.
There's no winning.
So if you're unaware of what the Streamer Awards is, it might be pretty obvious, but it's an awards show to highlight specific streamers with multiple different categories, from the Sapphire Award to the Hidden Gem Award to the Streamer of the Year. And this award show is hosted by QT Cinderella, a pretty popular streamer who puts his award show on basically every year and has been doing it for a while now. And the biggest problem, or at least the first problem that we're going to talk about, is the actual nominees, which with every award show is something that people are going to complain about. But because this is a streamer award show, a lot of people are claiming that QT Cinderella is actually going out of her way to snub certain people and to prop her friends up more and actually show them over streamers who apparently deserve it.
Complaints are focused to you because you were the organizer, but a lot of it's like misinformation.
Oh my god, it's just blatant lies 90% of the time.
Lies,
and I'm sitting there like, I feel like the really salad cat half the time. I'm just sitting there just so...
Yeah, but then like the more you try to explain yourself, blah, 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 it's like never ending. It's like fighting like a of stuff that's just constantly.
The more you try to justify, the more people are like, "Oh, this is how you get a reaction."
You guys,
and we do have a panel, and I'm very vocal about that too. We have a panel that is 30% of the weighted final vote to help with any popularity,
I think that's fine.
And it's almost never changed the outcome, but they're there. And they're also who I run runoff questions with. It's 100 industry experts. It's like pretty much someone from every corner of the internet I have represented. There's no streamers in the panel.
They think it's like
I don't even have a vote on the panel. I want to keep myself as non-biased as possible.
That's This ain't a fan-based event anymore, it's more of a friends thing. Just look at the international nomination. I guarantee you Speed was #1 most voted for that, but where is he? Instead they put Tota, someone who hasn't even been streaming for a full year. So you're telling me random streamer that averaged 300 viewers are getting nominated and we're just supposed to believe
for real? Wait, really? There's streamers getting nominated for averaging 300 views. Like there's streamers that are averaging 300 views getting nominated. That's crazy.
It's not rigged. Just cancel the award show at this point. The moment you start excluding people is the moment the show starts to lose audience due to unfair bias. Oscars and others are great examples. Their future reward show. This is exactly why Aiden's award show will be more successful. You can't be picking and choosing who gets an award. You can probably tell from those shorts.
Aiden, he needs to do the reward show. He's got to do it. I think he will. Yeah, he said he might plan one. I don't know if he's actually doing it or not, but we need to see it.
Tweets, but the award nominees came out yesterday for the Streamer Awards and people were genuinely upset. Obviously this happens every single year, but more and more I feel like a bunch of people were saying it's rigged. A bunch of people were calling out people that should have been nominated, and normally while it could have just been random people on Twitter saying this and that anonymously to QT, it seems like more and more these days streamers are actually coming out and talking about the situation on their stream, saying that certain things are rigged, certain people should have been voted for, and it's causing a lot more hatred because once you start hating on this certain event or saying certain things, I feel like it encourages your audience to accept that they can do the same thing as well.
Specifically catering to an international or non-American English. Why is eBay not on this list? eBay's not on this list? What about Speed? English speaking? Well, I mean, okay, well, what about eBay, right? And I think also, like, the reason why Speed had 1 million viewers, 1 million live viewers in Indonesia isn't because of the English speakers in that audience, okay?
Neon should get a nomination for this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't hate that, but he should. He should.
Best IRL, yeah. Neon should have been on this list. Like, who's... Okay, you can say I haven't been tapped in or not. I guess I haven't been tapped in, but who's Chloe and who's Christina and Amber? Like, no disrespect, but who are these women? I have no idea. I never heard of them. But Neon's not on the best IRL streamer list. You gotta put Neon here.
He should.
I know y'all are saying fan voted. You cannot convince me
I did not get more votes than some of the people on that panel, bro. You cannot convince me.
Now, when I say streamers talking bad about the event or being upset that they didn't get nominated is encouraging their fans to also talk about it too, I'm not saying they're intentionally trying to inspire hate, at least most of them. But what I see is just outright complaining here and there, people making jokes about not being picked for certain categories, and certain people just going off asking why their friends or people they felt like were more popular than these certain panelists weren't picked. And generally for certain categories, I feel the same way. As someone who watches Marvel Rivals, there's a Marvel Rivals category, and some of the streamers I see up there, I feel like don't need to be there. So obviously I understand where most of these streamers or people like are coming from, but obviously with all the hate, all the discourse, Cutie Cinderella was going to get on her stream and talk about the situation and point out why there might be certain people that people feel like are very popular or should have been picked for categories, but for some reason are not there.
Somebody said, are problematic people blackballed from getting nominated? No, they've just never nominated. Turns out their audience doesn't show up. I think when people have like a crazy audience or whatever, you know, I don't see Jack Doherty's audience voting for him. I just don't. They just don't show up. It is
voting for Jack Doherty is crazy. That is crazy. Imagine just voting for Jack Doherty to win a award with all this stuff that he's done.
It's always funny. Audiences will complain every year that they weren't nominated and then like not do nominations on stream or not tweet about it or not like ask their audience to vote for them or nothing. They'll give nothing. They give nothing, you know? It's like you do have to log in with a Twitch account and you have to fill it out, which I know some people's viewers don't have.
I want y'all to be aware before I say what I say. I am not a Cutie Cinderella fanboy. I don't watch QT. The last video I had talking about Cutie Cinderella was literally me disagreeing with her and basically calling her opinion dumb. But in this situation, I feel like a lot of people are putting hate on her for no real reason. We know that the streamer awards or award shows in general don't really mean much, but are a nice way to highlight certain people who have worked hard in that industry. And when it comes to streaming as a whole, obviously you're going to probably see the same duplicate amount of people when it's fan voted, because the biggest streamers in the world are going to have the biggest fan bases who are constantly and consistently voting for them. Regardless of what you may feel, how you may feel about a certain person, if you're not out here promoting your streams as much as possible, like some people might be posting on their Instagram story every day, posting on their Twitter every day, going through the literal nominations, telling people to pick them, then I'm not surprised that you're not going to show up there. A lot of people are talking about the situation, saying that problematic streamers can't get voted, problematic streamers can't be here, can't be there, because it's going to mess up sponsorships, because it's going to mess up this and that. Last year's Streamer Awards, we didn't have one of the nominees literally being Aiden Ross with Donald Trump. And even then, people were calling that rigged, even though most streamers and people are like, we're reacting to that stream like this.
And then finally, our last nominee, Aiden Ross and Donald Trump.
Best streamed collab, it's gotta be Kai Kevin Trusky.
I'm gonna have to go with Kai here, bro. Kai. I watch Kai.
Aiden, Donald Trump, I don't care about Trump.
This didn't touch the Kevin Hart, Kai Cenat stream.
So I don't know why we're acting like people having a problematic past or a problematic current way of streaming is really stopping them from being nominated. As if Aiden Ross wasn't being one of the most problematic streamers last year, but the amount of collabs he was doing, the people he was talking to, and who he was platforming overall, he was still able to get a nomination with Donald Trump. If you don't see how that's problematic, then I honestly don't know what to tell you. And it's not like it's just stopping here with people that are apparently problematic and wouldn't get voted for or wouldn't get platformed because of how QT feels, which again, they are mainly pointing the finger at her. It's people that QT's actually close with, people in FaZe Clan like Lacey, who didn't get voted for certain categories, who are obviously making jokes. We're talking about being blackballed because they are not one of the nominees.
I traveled around the country. I IRL stream around 150 hours a month. I didn't get nominated for IRL stream or reality streamer. I'm blackballed. I'm blackballed. I'm blackballed. I know y'all are saying fan voted. You cannot convince me. I did not get more votes than some of the people on that panel, bro. You cannot convince me.
So it's not like being a problematic streamer is going to keep you away from being nominated or keep you away from the Streamer Awards when the QT's own friends, in her own words and in people's own perspectives, aren't being nominated for categories they feel like they should win. And they have pretty big audiences like Lacey, maybe some other people like Jason the Ween, who didn't get voted for certain categories but are closely tied to QT, have done streams with her, have been invited to parties parties with her and yet are still not in these nominations. So it's not like it's a thing of, man, these people just are being excluded and it's a QT Cinderella Friendship Award when even her own friends are being nominated for certain categories. One thing I have been seeing from people that actually does have a hint of truth in it being sponsors are not okay with certain streamers. You can again look no further than the past Streamer Awards when they had sponsors from Xbox, AT&T, and people of that manner, and it would not allow Hassan to be near any of the sponsor boards and actually moved him away to do an interview when Ron was talking to him.
We got Will Neff coming in and Hassan. I don't care if you piss your pants.
What are you dropping? I'm just dropping my bag. Oh, let's go over in the backdrop. Are we moving?
We got to move for Hassan actually. Hassan's too big apparently.
Go over there. Go back there. Yeah, what are you
She said trust her.
The problematic streamers weren't nominated because it would put sponsor opportunities at risk. This is obvious. I don't know why we're pretending that it's not. Why I said this has a hint of truth to it and is not fully true is because, again, you can look at past streamer awards and see how sponsors interact with certain streamers and how they actually inch them away from being near brands or certain people that might represent them. It makes sense if a sponsor does not like a person who does not want their brand to be represented by them. They don't want their logo, name, or anything anywhere near them. As you saw when Ron was interviewing people, he moved away from the backdrop with all the sponsors to go and talk to Hassan where there was nothing there. While that might be the case, the perceptive of you might realize it's not like Hassan wasn't at the Streamer Awards. It's not like Hassan wasn't able to be nominated for the Streamer Awards. He just wasn't able to take pictures next to sponsors. And that's really the extent that all of this goes, at least from what I researched. I truly can't see an instance where somebody being problematic in a certain way is stopping them from getting a nomination or even stopping them from appearing at the Streamer Awards. And it's not like these streamers are unaware of their own PR or how they present to people like sponsorships. Again, sticking to Hassan, he talked about not being nominated for the Streamer Awards and understanding that someone that might sponsor Streamer Awards like AT&T does not like him.
No Streamer Awards noms, Sag. Yeah, we weren't going to win anything, let's be real. I have found myself growing further and further away from the Twitch audience, or not Twitch audience necessarily, but just like Twitch streaming and the audiences that exist on Twitch. No one got nominated who does political content, so it is what it is. Yeah, except XQC, who literally live streamed with the president. With the current president. I don't think AT&T has an issue with XQC in the same way that they have an issue with me. You didn't have a whole live stream with Trump like Aiden Ross did. Maybe top influencers in the rep beyond vote. And Aiden Ross has so many streams with Nick Fuentes, who's an actual anti-America. Yeah, I mean, XQC. XQC literally streamed with Donald Trump. And I don't think AT&T has any problems with XQC. AT&T literally blacklisted me. AT&T likes XQC.
These streamers or anybody that's going to be a part of the Streamer Awards are very aware of their standpoint when it comes to sponsorships, when it comes to how problematic they can be. But again, from what I have seen, I don't see that actually affecting anything when it comes to the Streamer Awards. A lot of things that I've seen from past Streamer Awards just shows that they are going out of their way to try and be inclusive to a lot of people. And unfortunately, sometimes that just doesn't work out with the amount of nominees, the amount of people that are actually streamers, and the amount of categories there are, and the people that could be voted for in those categories. And while QT again is the face of all this, so she's gonna get all the hate, she actually doesn't have any real weight in her heart when it comes to hosting this event. And truly, from what again I have seen, is trying her hardest to make this as inclusive as possible, to the point where she is even happy with competition. Because earlier this year, Aiden Ross and Asmongold announced that they were going to be hosting their own Streamer Awards.
I want to let everyone know right now, I am going to be doing a 2025 Streamer Awards. I'm going to host my own awards. I don't know why nobody's ever competed it and done it, because I'm going to do it the right way. And I'm gonna host my own awards.
I know Aiden wanted to do a new Streamer Awards too. If Aiden wants to do a Streamer Awards, I could at least help him put it together and like field contestants and shit like that, like organize stuff. Like I
haven't heard anything from Aiden. You know, we haven't heard any updates from Aiden doing like the whole Streamer Awards thing. He hasn't talked. I haven't heard him talk about it ever since he talked about the whole Streamer Awards thing. Yeah, I haven't heard anything from him lately.
Supported,
but I would need Asmongold to co-host this whole thing with me. Hey, do you guys trust Asmongold? Like, you actually think like if I put him in charge, he can help run everything? Like, he actually could do it? I feel like I could, bro. I feel like he's responsible and shit.
Oh, well, this clip is kind of recent, so all right, then he said something about it. I haven't been watching whole lot of Aiden recently, so Yeah, I've only been watching a couple of clips.
Like if I put him in charge, he could help run everything. Like he actually could do it. I feel like I could, bro. I feel like he's responsible and shit.
Now, to a normal person who's hosting an award show, an event, or anything like that, seeing competition like this might make you a little bit upset because they are taking your entire idea and making it their own. But in all reality, this just adds more inclusivity, allowing for more categories, more people to be seen, and maybe some streamers that QT and her Streamer Awards missed out on actually having a spotlight in Aiden Streamer Awards. And that's also how QT Cinderella saw it, because he eventually put out a tweet talking about this whole situation, encouraging it, being happy about it, even saying that they are going to put on an event that's going to be unique and very entertaining, so why would she be upset about it?
Yo! So if you haven't been paying attention, QT Cinderella went ahead and reacted to Asmongold and Aiden Ross's Streamer Award show. She gave them some pretty good input, recommending them some unique categories like best breakup, best cancellation, best drama. We already know it's like best break.
A ton of categories they could do that I think would make the show unique and special. People ask me every year to do the drama categories like best breakup, best cancellation, best drama, etc. I actually think they could lean into that and make something incredibly entertaining. Neither of them are afraid of doing. In other words, I don't see it as competition, because I know they would make a unique product. I mean, some decent ideas, but who's breaking up? What big streamers are breaking up every year?
Best cancellation, best
streamer couples are breaking up every year. All right, best cancellation makes sense. Best drama makes sense. There's drama every year or every month, it seems like, in the streamer world. So best cancellation and best drama makes sense.
We already know a certain streamer that's gonna win best cancellation. And she went on to say, I actually think they could lean into that and make something incredibly entertaining that neither of them are afraid of doing. In other words, I don't see it as competition because I know they would make a unique product. Asmongold went on to respond saying the most racist stream, that's definitely Gypsy Crusader.
What? Okay.
Crusader and freaking Cuff 'em. Biggest fall off.
Yeah, biggest fall off is Diabolical. Now that's a mean one right there. Biggest view butter. okay. Asmongold, yeah, he's trolling.
Off, give it to Ninja. Biggest view botter, give it to Neon. Worst sponsor, best on stream fight. The possibilities are endless. Thank you for
this. Best on stream fight would be sick. That would be a nice reward to win. Best on stream fight.
Support. That's the lane that I see them leaning into, talking about the subjects that people are not willing to discuss, putting people on the spot, calling people out. The thing about Aiden and Asmon is that they're willing to shake up the room. They're not afraid to lose out on connections because they understand that a lot of these streamers aren't even friends anyways. Their lane is going to be about keeping it real. So we got Aiden and Asmon, we got QT Cinderella with her Streamer Awards, and then we got the Esports Awards.
QT's response, along with Asmongold's response to her, just shows that she sees it as another nice event that's going to only help the streamer community. The way that people try to bank QT in all of these scenarios just doesn't make any real sense to me. Again, I mentioned this already. I understand she is the face of the Streamer Awards, so any hate that's directed at it being like the Friendship Awards, saying that she is not platforming certain people, is all going to be directed towards her at the end of the day. But in all reality, QT just seems like someone who's trying her best to put on a nice event and even encouraging more people to put on events just like her so that they can highlight more people in the streaming space. And most people feel that way when they talk about her. Someone like Aiden Ross, who even mentioned her again when talking about the Streamer Awards, said that she's very nice and very helpful, and even DM'd her to talk about how to set certain things up.
Shout out to QT Cinderella, by the way, guys. She stood up for me and Asmongold, saying that if we do the awards thing, it was awesome. She's also very nice. I've talked to QT Cinderella before in the DMs. She's awesome, bro. I like QT Cinderella a lot. WQT in my chat, bro. I see what you said about me. I saw people attack her for what she said about me, but like, bro, she said some nice words about me and Asmongold, and I respect her for that, bro. She did not have to do that. She didn't even have to talk about me or Asmon, but she did, and I was like, damn, QT Cinderella, thank you. That meant a lot to me.
Even with the mass amounts of hate and the competition that's coming about because of how people feel about her Streamer Awards, at the end of the day, I still see QT trying to be as fair and as nice to people as possible, but I think it's a genuinely nice thing to do because because again, while I'm really downplaying this hate by just showing like random Twitter threads or random clips, it is genuinely a lot. And most of this is coming with no real evidence, because I don't know how you would get evidence of how people are voting in the streamer wars without the back end. So a bunch of people are just calling out her for hosting a Friends Awards, or honestly deplatforming people because she doesn't like them, and to appease sponsorships with no real way of proving it in any way, shape, or form. Still basically hate farming her at the end of the day, while certain people are trying to do their best to show her they do appreciate the streamer awards she's putting on and are genuinely happy with everything that's going on. It does suck that either way, no matter what she does or how she promotes the streamer awards, how she has people winning, how she has people vote, people are going to be upset regardless, because they don't have all the ins and outs of everything and she's not showing everything that's going on. We can see that with somebody again like Asmongold talked about the streamer awards and apparently even offered up over 100K so we could see the back end, because he doesn't believe that he's actually going based off of fan voting.
So here's the thing, you're lying. You know you're lying. Everybody knows you're lying. If you are not lying, I think this is what my assertion is. I think that you have exercised editorial control and you have picked the nominees not completely from fan voting, but from your own opinions and to keep the show brand friendly. I think that the priority for the show is to make sure that the show gets as many viewers as possible and maintains as many sponsors as possible. I think that's what happened. And I am willing to bet $100,000 on it. Invite me next year to watch the voting. And if the people that get voted on actually are the ones that get nominated, I will donate $100,000 to the charity of your choice. That is how certain I am that you're lying. Go ahead. So we'll see what happens. Sorry. And it's like, and there's an
100K bet. Well, 100K to charity if he loses the bet. That's a lot of money, obviously.
A lot of these, like, for example, like, and here's some of the reasons why I think it's not true. It's that you have somebody like Hasan. Hasan has been nominated every single year for multiple awards, multiple times. And this time, he wasn't even nominated for League of Their Own, which really, Hasan is one of the only people on the platform that does political content. And he was one of the first people besides Destiny that really made it his primary content. And you're telling me that he didn't even get nominated for that? He didn't get nominated for that, like the League of Their Own. There was nothing that he got nominated for at all. Are you going to insinuate that Hasan was viewbotting too? This is your friend. So very clearly you're not going to do that. So explain the dissonance there. Explain why that didn't happen.
Now again, Asmongold is just making these claims with no real proof, and that's why he's asking for proof, at least in his clip I'll give him credit for. You see the back end voting, because he doesn't believe everything that's going on. The one person he pointed out was Hasan, which I'm assuming he didn't see the clip earlier, where Hasan himself even pointed out that he is getting farther and farther away from the Twitch community as a whole, which would cause him to not get voted for, because your own community cannot be the only one that's solely pushing you. Other people, connections you may have on Twitch, also might want to push their communities as well to vote for you, because that's what's happening with other streamers and other categories. It only makes sense. And for the other point being the friendship awards, Hasan is literally her friend. They do a podcast together. When Hasan was in controversies recently, she actually defended him. How all of a sudden does her friendship with Hasan not matter because of his controversies? As if people weren't pointing out that she is only platforming her friends, but all of a sudden when she doesn't platform her friends, now it's because of sponsorships, even though I just showed y'all a clip last year where Hasan pulled up to the Streamer Awards also being a nominee for multiple categories and just wasn't allowed near the sponsorship board. That's all that would happen, and I feel like a lot of people have access to this information and are purposely going out of their way to not find it, which is just stirring more and more hate, and obviously it's going to get back to the person that is hosting this entire event, that being Cutie. Now again, I'm not a huge fan of Cutie Cinderella, so I only seen clips and pure segments of her from other people, but from what I've seen, she seems like a pretty sensitive person, and I can tell this event is purely getting to her because she began to break down on stream because of everything that was going on.
Oh my god, you picked one of my favorite pics of me with my eyes closed leaning against the wall. I believe that you were all trying to portray us at our best. Thank you. I just love puzzles.
I mean, like, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect, dude? I'm not surprised. Like she's a woman. Like, she's gonna be a little sensitive. I'm not surprised.
God, I'm doing my fucking best over here, and the store didn't even have Cheerios. I'm just so tired. Now we're gonna do our real job, which is play fucking video games for a living. Because the one I'm getting off the ship for isn't even my fucking job. God, so tired. I just want to play Dispatch so bad, and I haven't had any time because I'm working on this stupid fucking award show. I'm so tired of crying. I'm 30, by the way. Oh my god. Thanks for the raid. I'm sorry. It's so embarrassing. It's been a long day.
Now, I've said this in several of my videos now. I love hating. Again, I built this channel off hating, and I was recently hating on QT Cinderella earlier this year. But in this entire situation, I don't think that that is what's necessary. She just seems like somebody that's trying her best to put on an event that helps and brings the streaming community together. And because her name and face is attached to it, she's the big person that's putting everything together. She's going to get all the hate when a certain person wins, when nominees aren't there, or things just aren't going her way. And I feel like it's very unnecessary and unjust, because this is a side thing at the end of the day. Her main job is streaming, and she is just going out of her way to host this event to help and promote other streamers. And all the criticism that I've been seeing from people just doesn't add up when you look back past streamer awards and you look at what certain people have been saying and what's just been happening throughout all of the past events that have already been hosted. At the end of the day though, that is just my opinion. If you want to tell me your opinion, the best place to do would be the comment section down below. If you did enjoy this video, maybe consider giving it a like. And if you enjoyed content,
all right, the vid's pretty much over. That was a W video. All right, I gotta take a piss, so I'll be right back.
Wonder. wonder.
All right, I'm back. Okay, you know, about the streamer reward thing, I want to say this. Marlon, he is nominated for the Rising Stars reward. Marlon, he absolutely deserves to win. He deserves it, and he has to win. Like, if you watch his streams, like, he's pretty much a global star at this point. Like, he has a big audience in France. He has an audience in France, of course, Sweden, his home country, England, and here in the U.S. Just if you've seen the streams and clips. He's got a big fan base, and he's like averaging like 8 to 10K viewers, I think. And yeah, you could say, well, oh, he only made it because of his looks. No, it's not. It's not because of his. Not only because of his looks. It's because he is also entertaining as well, and also a funny guy, and seems like a cool dude. And he absolutely deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. He's got to win that reward, man. He has to win it. That's what I wanted to say. And yeah, you can call me a glazer or whatever. I don't think I'm a glazer, but okay, sure, you can call me a glazer, but it's the truth. He's got to win the reward. He deserves it. Okay. Shall I watch something else? It's 9:37. Let's see who uploaded. Wait, Lane Kiffin news? What's going on with Lane?
A lot of people are calling.
All right, insane Lane Kiffin news. Let's go.
Cap on this. They were saying it was a big lie. And this same Twitter account that posted the original picture you're looking at right here then tweeted out, here are the live photos of the quote-unquote Kiffin plane in Baton Rouge. I've never covered a situation quite like this, where you have a team telling their head coach, who is in poised and prime position to make the college football playoff, or the postseason, whatever you want to call it, that if you don't tell us whether or not you're going to leave and take another job before our rival week game, then there's going to be some repercussions. Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Monday. Hope all of you having a great start to your week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, what in the world is going on with our boy Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels? I'm here to tell you right now, partner, you might want to get you a snack and popcorn for this video, because it is going to be very interesting to say the least, and it can get overwhelming, so you better pay attention to every single second of this video. I'm the person making the video, and even me myself, I'm overwhelmed with all this information we've received within the past, I wouldn't even say 24 hours, but 8 hours. We're getting straight into this. I don't got time to waste. You don't got time to waste either. It all started early this morning when somebody on Twitter posted this picture you're looking at right here, which is supposed to be, and it is apparently, a private jet at the Baton Rouge airport. A lot of people were calling cap on this. They were saying it was a big lie. And this same Twitter account that posted the original picture you're looking at right here then tweeted out, here are the live photos of the quote-unquote Kiffin plane in Baton Rouge. Ooh. I'll show you the live photos they posted. There's no volume or no sound or anything like that, but apparently and allegedly this was Kiffin's family. But as you can see, it is, well, ironically enough, hard to see who in the crap that is on the plane, or who it is even walking around in the videos or whatnot. You really can't prove, oh yeah, that's Kiffin's family or that's Kiffin's wife. I'm just saying, going off of the video, maybe in person, maybe the person that took the video, you can clearly see it, but what I'm looking at right here, it's hard to confirm it. Well, it didn't take long for this to blow up on social media and everyone else started putting on their Sherlock Holmes detective hat. Come to find out, yep, it's actually true. That was Lane Kiffin's family. Read it and weep. It's all real. LSU sent a private plane to pick up Kiffin's family. If everything I've showed you up until this point wasn't interesting enough, here's where things get 10 times more intriguing. So Lane Kiffin's family, they visited LSU today. We've already established that. Well, they also visited Gainesville yesterday, which was Sunday.
Okay, so they visited Gainesville yesterday. Ooh.
So, yeah. If you're an Ole Miss fan, this isn't exactly music to your ears, and this is worst case scenario. This isn't what you like to hear or see. Before we go any farther, let me pump the brakes and clarify on some things. This is just Lane Kiffin's family visiting. None of this is set in stone. Nothing's confirmed. Nothing's locked. Oh, yeah, Kiffin is for sure leaving Ole Miss, and he's going to Florida LSU. No, it's not any of that. As to where it stands right now, it is simply nothing more and nothing less than they are looking elsewhere and they're weighing their options, rightfully so. Let me give you a great example so people like me and you can relate to this. It is very similar to when a 4 or 5 star recruit is already committed to a school, but he's still visiting other schools. For example, remember that 5-star quarterback commit that was committed
Jared
to Georgia?
Curtis, visiting the Vanderbilt game when they played LSU, I think. It was either LSU or yeah, it was the LSU game.
He wound up visiting Vanderbilt when game day was there, and he didn't flip or anything. Why do recruits do this? Why do you visit Vanderbilt or LSU if you're already committed to Alabama or Georgia? Because it's part of the experience. Why not go? That's the mentality they have. That could be what's going on here as well. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. When these recruits visit Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, you do understand and realize it's like a mini vacation, and it's a free vacation at that. These recruits are getting VIP passes. They're getting to talk to all the players, getting all the food they could want. They're sitting in box suites. They're on the field on the sidelines. Why wouldn't you do it? Same thing here. Well, let's continue along, shall we? So Ole Miss has now taken the ball to Lane Kiffin and said, hey, we want some clarity on as to what's going on here, and we need you to tell us by the Egg Bowl whether or not you're going to stay with us. Yes, that is right. You heard me correctly. Ole Miss is threatening Lane Kiffin to make a decision, and if he does make a decision, they may not allow him to coach in the college football playoff. It's getting crazy. Just so there's no confusion here and you don't think I'm making this up, let me read off Brett McMurphy's tweet. If Lane Kiffin doesn't meet the deadline, Ole Miss would have to decide if it would allow him to coach in the playoffs, sources told On3 Sports. If there's no resolution, it will be an agonizing decision for Kiffin and the Rebels. You see it right here. I've never covered a situation quite like this, where you have a team telling their head coach, who is in poised and prime position to make the college football playoff or the postseason.
Ole Miss has told Lane Kiffin to decide by November 28th Egg Bowl whether he's staying at Ole Miss or taking either the Florida/LSU job.
You want to call it, that if you don't tell us whether or not you're going to leave and take another job before our rival week game, then there's going to be some repercussions. But here's my thing, if you're Ole Miss, do you even have leverage? Because why would you do that to your team, program, and more importantly, your university? I don't care how you feel about Lane Kiffin entertaining these other jobs. Do you know how mad the fan base would be if you banned your own head coach from coaching in the playoffs? It'd be one of the craziest things ever, and I don't even know how they could or would go through with it. And here's the other thing. I don't even think it's like, well, we're not going to let you coach in the playoffs. They're more so of taking the route of, hey, we're just going to fire you. But think about how absurd that would be. If Ole Miss does that, the fan base, no matter how you feel about Kiffin, you're going to be pissed off because at the end of the day, you want to win the national championship. I can't take credit for this, but this guy nailed it on the head, whoever wrote this on Twitter. This is pretty much the equivalent of, great example, you can't break up with me because I'm breaking. That is a great
example, because you can't break up with me because I'm breaking up with you first.
Up with you first. Remember when we was in elementary and middle school, that's how every relationship was. Whenever your girlfriend or boyfriend found out through a mutual friend that you was going to dump them or break up with them, they were like, wait a minute, no. You can't leave me. And then you're sitting there going, why's that? And they go, because I'm leaving you. I'm breaking up with you first. And you're sitting there like, okay, I guess that works. Same thing here. I've covered everything that is all you need to know. I touched on all the major details. I've yet to give you my 2 cents on this, my perspective. So here it is. I've been very adamant on my feelings about Lane Kiffin with all these other jobs and rumors going on with the Florida Gators and LSU Tigers. I've said before, I've said it 5,000 times, and I'll continue saying in this video, I don't think Lane Kiffin is going anywhere. He will be the head coach at Ole Miss the remainder of the season and at Ole Miss next year and the many years to come. What I think is currently unfolding in front of our eyes is nothing more, nothing less than Lane Kiffin being, guess who? Is current the remainder.
Yeah, I don't see Lane Kiffin going anywhere. To be honest, like why would he leave? Unless if Florida or LSU give him like an insane amount of money that he couldn't refuse. Why leave Ole Miss? Like there's not high expectations at Ole Miss. Excuse me, a 9-win team. I mean, 9-win season. At least a 9-win season is successful at Ole Miss, and Ole Miss they're pretty much they're gonna make the playoffs, and they're gonna play in the college football playoffs. And they're probably going to do that. They're probably going to make the playoffs next year and the year after, or at least compete the year after. So why would Kiffin leave? I just don't see it. But it's college football, so you never know.
Of the season and at Ole Miss next year and the many years to come. What I think is currently unfolding in front of our eyes is nothing more, nothing less than Lane Kiffin being, guess who? Lane Kiffin. He is a goofy goober. Don't act shocked by this. We've been known how Lane Kiffin acts. This is what he does. So, to me, this is just stereotypical Lane Kiffin behavior. May I remind you, this is the same goober who said before the Alabama game, get your popcorn ready, threw it on the headset or tossed it, however you want to say it, and then proceeded to lose by a 30 burger. He's a goober. And I love Lane Kiffin. Y'all know this. I wish he was the head coach at Alabama. But this is just how he is. Do I blame him for entertaining these ideas? Heck to the no. It's the equivalent of the star quarterback, star basketball player in high school who has a girlfriend talking to 50 other girls. Why not? You're not always going to have this opportunity. Might as well have fun while you're in your prime. And guess what? Lane Kiffin, he's having fun. Don't blame him. I'd probably be doing the same thing. With all that being said, I will throw this in there. It is quite interesting that his family is touring Florida and LSU. And they're doing it pretty, I'd say, quick. Because I didn't think they'd be doing all that until after the season. But here we are. Let's take a look at this comment. Kiffin's in the driver's seat regarding his football future and, in my opinion, more importantly to him, the future of his family. Regardless of what Kiffin chooses to do, Rebel football will thrive, and fans, I don't know about all that, talking about they would thrive without Kiffin. Fans can be grateful for him returning Rebel football to its glory, and ultimatums never bode well for the issuer. That's my part about all that. I'm trying to, maybe I'm missing something.
You know what? Actually, I seen on social media that Lane Kiffin has a son, and he's getting to that age where he can, visit, where he's visiting other schools, and his son, he's not going to play for his dad. He's not going to play at Ole Miss in the future. So, yeah, his son is a football player, by the way, obviously, but maybe because of him. I don't know.
Here, but I don't understand Ole Miss giving Lane Kiffin this ultimatum. All right, you got to give us a decision before the Egg Bowl. Like, dude, you have no leverage. What do you mean? You're not calling the shots here, pal. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the Kiffinator is calling the shots, whether you like it or not. Like the commentator said in the Dodgeball movie, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for him. You already know I keep you guys updated. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below, but there.
All right, man. Yeah, Lane Kiffin ain't going anywhere. I don't think so. All right, it's 9:50. I said I wasn't going to react to clips on TikTok. But I don't know what videos to react to. This video is quite long, but I guess I'll watch at least half of it.
All right, folks, we are back on the way.
All right, so it's official. Jake Paul will fight Anthony Joshua, and I can't believe that this fight is actually going to happen. Yeah, it's actually going to happen.
Way concept presented by The Ring, and I don't even know if I have words for what we have just seen become official. Jake Paul has lost his mind, and he is now officially fighting Anthony Joshua on December 19th in the Kaseya Center in Miami. Pro fight, heavyweight. There is a weight limit we're going to talk about, but I'm going to tell you something, whether you like him or not. Jake Paul has gigantic balls, and this is probably the worst mistake of his career. Danger personified. He's going to get hurt very badly. I think all these things and more, but we need to talk about it. The breakdown, let's go. So, want it to take its toll. You don't want to feel old. You want worth of product. You're going to get free shipping. We do not care. First fun. It's live. Now, back to the breakdown. All right, folks. Like I said, Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, it's official. Jake posting this on Twitter this morning. Yes, it's real. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua will go head-to-head in a pro heavyweight fight.
It's a pro fight too, man. A pro fight.
Netflix, Friday, December 19th. They got the hashtag ready. Here's the poster, and even in the poster, you can see this is a David and Goliath story here. I mean, there's times where I thought Jake is a cruiserweight. There's times where I thought even he could be a light heavyweight. And now he's stepping in with one of the most chiseled, bona fide heavyweights in the world right now in Anthony Joshua. And while you may think this matchup is a monstrosity, I think the real monstrosity is the fact that they spelled judgment wrong. Someone's getting judged for that. Now, you see the details in the poster.
No way. They spelled judgment wrong? I didn't even notice that. They did spell it wrong.
Kaseya Center in Miami. This was the location for Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. They're going to keep everything the same. They're going to keep the date the same. Time, Netflix. They're changing out the opponent. And obviously, they're changing out the rules. First, Jake, Tank Davis, exhibition. No siree. You're not seeing that this time around. And this is why I think Jake has gigantic fucking balls, because the rule set is as follows. Jake Paul is actually fighting former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua in 10-ounce gloves.
10-ounce gloves? 10-ounce gloves. 8 3-minute rounds, 245-pound weight limit.
3-minute rounds each, and there is a weight limit. And that's only for Anthony Joshua, but there is a weight limit. And there's a quote here from Anthony Joshua. I'm about to break the internet over Jake Paul's face. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it sounds fucking demented, terrifying, and just in the same tone I would want AJ to take this fight. Being there, playing no games, wanting to knock Jake Spark out, El Sparko, cold, because that is what makes Jake Paul or any other fights interesting. A level of danger that we believe, a level of competition that we want to see. And the details, like I said, fire me up. It's a professional bout. This is going on people's records. AJ got to take him serious, because this isn't some exhibition. We're running out some judges to act like there's a decision and someone won. No, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose here. It's 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds. Again, heavyweight pro bout, 10-ounce gloves. AJ talking about breaking internets over faces. I think he meant to say breaking his face on the internet. Who knows? Maybe you can do both in the big 2025. But then you have the weight limit, 245 pounds. And people are automatically going to go, oh, God, here's the thing. Oh, here's the thing in the contract. No, stop all that. And I'm going to go on a rant in a second for all the people that thought this was fake, for all the people that thought that Jake wouldn't do this. For all the people that thought he was scared, I'm going to go on that rant in a second. But, okay, yes, 245 is a weird number because Jake has already fought at heavyweight. He fought Mike Tyson at 220-something. But again, I understand it a little bit. We're on short notice here. You don't want to have a Tyson Fury type situation, which AJ would never be 290 coming in here. But 260, 270, it starts to get out of the realm of possibility of, like, what are we doing here? Even though heavyweight has no limit, I get it. Because AJ has fought at this weight multiple times before, and they're trying to create a similar, at least size matchup to Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. And we go back to the 2022 rematch. Usyk weighed in at 221.5. Anthony Joshua weighed in at 245, or at least 244.5. Now, this is interesting because it was heavier than the first time they fought. Because in the first time they fought, AJ was 240. Now, again, you see kind of the size they want to replicate. They want to replicate the size of Usyk in this second and first fight. And they want to replicate AJ's size in those fights as well. I thought AJ fought very well the second time around, better than maybe people remember. And this is why this should not be a competitive fight, regardless of that weight or anything else. I mean, look at this picture right here. I know things have changed since this time period, but this was in 2017.
2017. Jake Paul, Disney Channel, Anthony Joshua, heavyweight champion, just KO'd Vladimir Klitschko. An older Vladimir Klitschko, but it's still Vladimir Klitschko.
AJ was the heavyweight world champion. Jake was on red carpets for Bizaardvarks on the Disney Channel, looking like every fuckboy that came out of the Vine era. This shouldn't be the reality that we're living in. Now, I've sat here and I've asked myself over and over and over, you know, what's the upside for Jake here? What's the upside? Because he can make money with everybody, right? Jake can make money fighting Gervonta Davis. He can make money fighting freaking Ryan Borland and Andre Agassi. He can make money fighting Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And I'm just asking myself, what would... Stop asking me 267 million. Okay, yeah. If that's a real number, there's no context there. I don't know if that's referring to something else, but if Jake is getting paid $267 million for this fight, I mean, this is Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor territory without pay-per-view. This is Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao territory, again, without it being pay-per-view. That can't be the number. Now, there's also this message from Jake that was on Sky Sports. We're going to look at a Sky Sports interview in just a second. Jake said, to all my haters, this is what you wanted. To the people of the United Kingdom, I'm sorry. On Friday, December 19, under the lights in Miami, live globally on Netflix, the torch gets passed and Britain's Goliath gets put to sleep. Again, I told you guys he wanted this. I told you he'd be confident in it.
This dude, Jake, is crazy, man. Like... I get it, you know, he's confident, you know, he's confident in his boxing skills, but there's just a difference between confidence and just absolute delusion. Okay, yeah, yes, you have to be a little delusional to succeed in life. I understand that. But this is just incredibly stupid.
I was on a Misfits show a couple of months ago, and I told you guys that I thought Jake was crazy enough to believe himself when he said, I'm going to go out and knock out AJ. I want the AJ fight. I believed he meant it because I know how insane this dude is, how his brain has probably been altered from his time in boxing, and he's making decisions like this. You don't have to believe me. Jake Paul's biggest op, KSI, is even saying it. Like, all right, dude, fair enough, because you can't hate this kind of level of, again, ballsy.
You know, I'll say this about KSI. Like, KSI, I actually think KSI should retire from boxing. I honestly think he should. He probably shouldn't. KSI, he probably shouldn't fight anymore. KSI probably shouldn't fight anymore. Like, he's not as passionate about boxing as Jake is. You know, Jake, he's taking boxing way more seriously than KSI. And KSI, I think he should stick to, okay, this may sound insulting. I don't mean it in an insulting way, but I think he should just focus more on YouTube and music. Like he's killing it in on YouTube as always. You know, he's a YouTube legend. So it just wouldn't make any sense to fight. It just wouldn't make any sense to box. Like, he has nothing else to prove. Like it's KSI, YouTube legend. and has been and is actually succeeding in music, at least in England. And he's a Sidemen member. So I don't see why would he box at this point.
Attitude, maybe psychotic delusion, inflated ego, whatever is making Jake take this fight. And I don't think it's healthy for him at all. I think this is going to be one-way traffic. I think AJ is going to hurt him very badly. And speaking of the insanity of this thing, here is what the first line is. Jake as a plus 800. I have a feeling that's going to shift even more toward AJ. At minus 1,500, because again, how could you even see Jake winning this fight? Where is the possibility for Jake to actually get it done? I mean, look at this picture from them playing paintball a couple of years ago, I guess. Or I don't know.
Oh man.
If it was paintball, but some sort
size isn't everything, but still. Anthony Joshua, former heavyweight champion. Boxed like he probably came out the womb when he was born. He probably came out the womb shadow boxing, like just being a little baby, just throwing punches. He's probably been doing this pretty much in his entire life. And Jake Paul, he went from a YouTuber to a boxer and hasn't accomplished anything in boxing besides beating older fighters.
Like some sort of airsoft like gunfighting, but look at the difference in the size. And I get it, size doesn't just win fights, but AJ doesn't just have the size. He is more experienced at the highest level. He has fought guys that are smaller than him and are more experienced and better than Jake is. Again, Alexander Usyk twice. What better experience? I know Usyk is southpaw, but what better experience to get you prepared to fight a smaller guy than to fight the best, smallest guy coming up to heavyweight in Usyk that you could find. And yes, AJ is plotty and he's maybe a little stiff and maybe his chin is not what it used to be, but that's still Anthony Joshua. So Nikisa Bidarian did an interview with Sky Sports, Jake Paul's manager and co-founder of MVP. He had some things to say about the fight. Obviously, they're going to do a massive press tour around this thing. Let's take a look and listen at why Nikisa, maybe a hot take, says that Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is more winnable for Jake Paul than Gervonta Davis would have been.
How dangerous is this for Paul?
This is a more dangerous fight than Gervonta Tank Davis, but it's a more winnable fight than Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta was small, fast, super skilled.
That is a fucking hot take. That's I don't know if that's crazy, but it's a hot take. Let's hear his reasoning.
Gervonta was small, fast, super skilled. Joshua is big, heavy puncher, but not as evasive. So I think if Jake has the right game plan, he has a pretty good shot of winning this fight.
That's crazy. Now, first off, a winnable fight with Gervonta.
That's his agent or something. But, dude, come on.
It was an exhibition. So, wins and losses, we weren't really going to be able to count there. But saying that it is a risky but more winnable fight, it's so hard to get on board with even the thought of Jake winning this. Like, there's only really, I think, one, maybe two avenues where Jake possibly can in some way win it. But when Nikisa says it's a more dangerous but also more winnable, the only thing my mind jumps to is Jake is going to have to stand in front of Anthony Joshua, a literal destroyer at heavyweight, a literal one punch, send you to the hospital, potentially end your career puncher at heavyweight, and take the risk of eating that punch just to land a punch that potentially could knock AJ out. That is why the risk and reward factor, I have to think Nikisa's talking.
Yeah, Jake Paul, he literally has to go for it. Like, just swing. It's obviously it's not going to work anyways, but I don't know, just make it ugly.
About there is involved. And you do look at guys like Andy Ruiz, guys like Usyk that even hurt AJ, and obviously Daniel Dubois that hurt him badly and put him down. You do ask the question, is AJ's chin just completely gone. Is that what MVP, is that what Jake is banking on? The fact that he can touch AJ on the chin, and it's been tested so many times that Jake hits hard enough to put him away. That is a fucking down to your last dollar, all-in bet on a hand of blackjack, down to your last dollar, and you're holding a 2 and a 3. You're betting blind with almost no chance and only on hope that you can get this done. That's how it feels. But again, that would be the path. Taking the risk, at least in pockets, and being in front of AJ and throwing on throw. I mean, you have to think he's going to have to throw on throw. When AJ throws, Jake's got to be there to counter and hit him in between when AJ's not seeing the punch coming. It has to be it. That's every time AJ's been knocked out, that's how it's been. It's been exchanging throw on throw. We're going to do an entire breakdown on how this fight's going to go. And again, the easy answer is this fight's probably just going to flat out go one way and one way only. AJ's the 18-wheeler going 90 down the straightaway, and Jake is in a fucking golf cart going 10 miles an hour, headed right back at the 18-wheeler. It's going to be freaking destruction. But anyway, then you have the tail of the tape, the facts. AJ's 36, Jake's 28.
All right, 28, 36, 6'6", 6'1", 200. And his last fight, AJ was 252. Jake's 200, reach 76, reach 82. 43 amateur fights, only one. Pro fights 32. Jake's 13. Pro record 12-1 with 7 knockouts. 28 wins, 25 knockouts, 4 losses. Olympian, he was Olympian. 1 gold medal, 6 world titles. Delusional. No, yes. Very rich. Both
Which again,
very rich.
I'm tired of hearing about the age thing with Jake. He's getting to be close to 30 now himself. Like, we're going to say here, oh, AJ's past his prime. Don't give me that bullshit. AJ may not be what he was as a sitting world champion, but he is so far from just completely shot. And I swear if I hear any of that this time around, dude, go fuck off. AJ is 6'6", 250. Even if AJ just wants to keep him on the end of a jab, look at the reach. He's got a 6-inch reach on Jake. And trust me, the Chloe concept has told me the 6 inches is more than enough. Okay? So that's going to be a problem.
All
Again,
right,
not even talking about the fact that AJ is more dangerous with just his power, but the jab, the reach, the extent, turnover of the right hand, he's going to be able to hit Jake at range. Jake can't even hit him. 43 amateur fights, 32 pro fights. He's 28-4. He's an Olympian. He's a gold medalist. He's won the world title. Delusional, yes. Very rich, yes. It's insane. Here's more from the Sky Sports interview with Nagisa Badarian, looking like my man Steve Jobs.
They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony Joshua? 100%.
They'll say it.
Oh, come on. I mean, again, that just...
All right. Okay. Yeah, I know he's trying to promote the fight and trying to back his boy, Jake. But come on, dude. Dude, no, that's...
Sounds crazy. It sounds crazy to say, yeah, Jake is dangerous for Anthony Joshua. It sounds stupid. It sounds insane to say that. Hey, AJ might be in trouble here. But again, they're going to fight. And if AJ does come in and just try to walk right over Jake, I will agree with Nagisa that it's not as easy as it was with Francis, who, I mean, he would jab and there would be no recollection of, oh, there's a right hand coming back. And AJ would just pull right hand and flatline Francis. Like, Jake will have a better, at least, skill set than Francis Ngannou. Now, Jake's size will be nowhere near Francis. So I don't know about the power that Jake has in his hands to even hurt AJ. I know that he hits hard, but this is a 240-pound heavyweight. This is not the cruiserweights. This is not the 190s. This is not those guys. And Jake couldn't knock out Mike. That's the other thing we're not talking about. Jake couldn't knock out 58-year-old Mike Tyson. And trust me, he tried.
That is true. He couldn't knock him out. He couldn't knock out Mike Tyson, who is pushing 60.
He tried in the first couple of rounds in that fight. And I know that, you know, maybe he had some things going on and had a foot issue or whatever, but, like, he couldn't knock out Mike. He couldn't knock out Tommy Fury. He couldn't beat Tommy. And I know, again, that was a long time ago in a different weight, but Jake hit him with a flush right hand. He hit Tommy Fury with a flush overhand and multiple left hooks. Couldn't hurt him. And if you can't hurt AJ, if you can't get AJ's respect, especially early in this fight, to get him to walk onto something and then make him pay for it, it's going to go very badly. Now, can I see a world where AJ walks onto a right hand? Yeah, I can, because I've seen him do it before, multiple times. When he gets to feeling himself a little bit and walks forward and Jake throws that looking at the floor freaking overhand or jab to the body overhand, I just don't know how many times you get that miracle punch. So if he gets one off, it better be the one that stops the show if Jake even has a remote chance. I'm talking 5% chance to win. It's going to be off one of those Hail Mary, perfect from the gods punches that just rocks AJ. AJ walking forward, kind of plotty, throwing out the jab. Jake goes jab to the body, overhand over the top. It would shock me to no end to watch if AJ were to just get outboxed by Jake Paul. Or again, if it was just one of those things where AJ showed up with the weird mindset and fucking didn't perform. But
now, if AJ loses, that would be obviously one of the biggest upsets in boxing, obviously. And that would be the most embarrassing loss. Like, if AJ loses this fight, like, if I was him, I would just retire. I wouldn't pick up the gloves ever again. Like, you're just going to be known as that guy who lost to a YouTuber in a boxing match. Yeah, you're just going to be known as that guy. But I ran out of time. But I want to say this quickly before I go. Jake Paul, you got to give respect to him. Jake Paul deserves respect for taking this fight. Yes, it's delusional. Yes, it's stupid. And yes, he could get seriously hurt and get knocked out cold, which everybody would, well, not everybody, but a lot of people would love to see, including KSI. But you got to respect Jake Paul for this. You got to respect him. But we'll see what happens December 19th. But to me, it's pretty obvious. Jake Paul, he doesn't stand a chance. He's going to get knocked out cold. And it's going to be bad for Jake. And Jake, he'll probably become a meme. And KSI, he probably will be laughing so hard watching Jake get knocked out cold. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. I gotta go, unfortunately. Thank you for watching. Thank you to anyone who tapped in for just a few seconds. Thank you for tapping in. But anyways, I gotta go. Have a good night.